very warm welcome to this summit on innovation and how we can use innovation to tackle the emerging development challenges in Asia and the Pacific. I think we have people here from all our country offices. We have people coming from all over the world, actually, not just all over Asia Pacific. So I wish everyone a very good stay in Bangkok and a very interesting and stimulating summit for the next couple of days. I don't want to state the obvious, but having said that, I probably will. I think we all know that the world is changing extraordinarily rapidly in this time. I mean, we can see technologically, socially, economically, the massive change happening, especially in Asia and the Pacific, which has a lot of benefits. I mean, we've seen enormous improvements in social indicators. We've seen enormous improvements in living standards. But we've also seen many people left behind. And we've seen increasing social tensions brought on by a number of issues, cultural issues, economic issues, political issues across the region. And this is why development is about change, how we adapt to change, and how we induce change when it's needed. And UNDP has traditionally seen innovation at the heart of its work. I mean, if you go back, the work we've done to introduce and popularize concepts like human development, global public goods, the whole MDG agenda, which UNDP was at the heart of developing. I think this shows that UNDP takes innovation seriously. But what we have to do is also apply it more practically to our work at the country level. And that is why we've invited all our country officers here to both to share their experiences, but also listen to leading thinkers on innovation, and to discuss with other organizations, development organizations that deal with innovation. I think what we can all agree on is that in an environment where development challenges are changing all the time, we cannot do business as usual. And we have to be more agile and more responsive. So, what we have done earlier this year, we instituted an innovation fund with support from the Danish government, which has allowed us across Asia and the Pacific to be creative and experiment with new ways to tackle complex development issues. And I think it's important that it's in a safe-to-fail space. It's an environment where we don't expect everything to work, and we want to learn not just from successes, but also from failures. And I think the generosity of the Danish government has allowed us that experimental space, which is so important. At the same time, this approach is very important because we are emphasizing partnership. Our innovation strategy is strongly tied to building up strong partnerships, and that is why we've invited a cross-section to this meeting, not just our country officers, but leading thinkers on innovation and leading development organizations that are dealing with innovation. So we have with us, of course, the Danish government, we have with us USAID, we have with us DFAT, and we have with us DFID. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence here of DevEx, who have come and joined us from Manila, and they are going to be interacting with you, and they're looking at how to develop a blog platform for those dealing with innovation. So having said that, I'm very pleased to welcome today His Excellency, the Danish Ambassador to Thailand and Cambodia, Michael Winter, and invite him to deliver the opening remarks and kick off the summit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicholas, and I would like very much to also welcome all participants from both outside Thailand and inside Thailand, and all development workers that are really at the ground of what is happening. I myself has been very much involved in development work for the Danish government in many areas, both in Myanmar, which I just stopped being an ambassador for this year, and also in Vietnam and other countries than in Copenhagen where I was. So also worked closely with UNDP in many occasions. I'm very pleased to be part of the opening of this workshop because I think it reflects very much what Nicholas stated, the need for us to be innovative in our instruments, not just in theory and in paperwork, but on the ground. And the various ministers of development cooperation in Denmark has constantly stated that in order to be innovative, we need also to be able and willing to take some risks in our work when we carry out. And as you said, Nicholas, that creating that space for utilizing both results from successes and from failures, it does take a need to accept risks. And I'm not talking about risks in terms of financial matters or tolerance for abuse of funds or corruption. I'm talking about risks in methods where we don't know whether the results of our interventions are really going to be great or not, but where we actually try to attempt to really use this model and see whether it works or not, and in a small scale use the successes to enlarge them to larger interventions. We've done that a lot in Denmark in the bilateral programs that we've had, because it is a changing world and it's a very challenging world, not only in social indicators and the dynamics of societies, but also in the way that we as development partners are responding to these changes. And I must say, during my time, I've been 21 years with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Denmark. As some of you know, we have an integrated system where the DANIDA, so-called DANIDA, is completely integrated in the diplomatic service. So I've been touching on development issues throughout these 21 years. And I think I can say easily that there's a major changes on the way. Funding and the sources of funding, government involvement and private funds that are also using other ways. So we as official donors and you as UN agencies and other agencies, we need to catch up and we need to be there on the front and being able to show flexibility and also a little bit of adventure. And I think that is why the Danish government really strongly support this type of interventions. And today and tomorrow, unfortunately, I have to go myself, but my colleagues and I hope I myself can be back tomorrow and follow some of the discussions, because I think when I look at the agenda and I hear about the participants, you're going to have very, very interesting discussion exchanges. I wish I could be here to hear some of your experience from the field. I miss the field actually. So on that background, I wish you all a really good summer.